Good morning, everybody. Hey, interspersed among the pews are some maracas and drums and stuff like that. So if you're near one and you feel like grabbing one at any time during any of our songs today, feel free to do so. It's winter now, it's dark and cold. Where is the light? Our year just passed, we now call. Where is the light? Drop to bed too soon. Where is the light? There's nothing but a skinny moon. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside. When it's dark each morning when I rise, where is the light? And it's hard when my eggs are frying, where is the light? And it's dark when off to work I go. Where is the light? And it's dark again when I get home. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's in my skin, in my bones, and in my heart, in my soul. That light of life so bright and golden like a summer day. When the sun goes missing in the sky, it's rising in my eyes, chasing all the winter gloom away. I'm burning bright like kerosene. I'm twinkling like the day. Where is the light? I'm dancing like a candle flame. Where is the light? I'm flaming like a fruit flame. Where is the light? Oh, can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, light's inside me. Oh, can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time, everybody. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, that was lovely. We're gonna use this?
Thanks so much. So, welcome everyone. Whoa, I got you. Okay. And the light is shining. Have you noticed how, you get up and the temperatures are cold, and then you go outside and that sunshine is so warm and it's so bright. It's wonderful. Today we have Reverend Colleen with us. Always a treat, and lots going on today. We have Mardi Gras potluck, and I was in the kitchen, and I'm telling everyone has brought in their best. Okay, so please stay and join us. Even if you didn't bring something, there is plenty. And we also have a treat. We're kicking off a class Unity Foundations. And Reverend Colleen is going to be teaching that for 4 Sundays. And of course, today we have potluck, but in the subsequent Sundays, we'll provide a little light lunch. And today we're going to a real good introduction and a really good video that Colleen and I have shared. And the wonderful thing about it is her perspective on this. So if you have a chance to stay, the class will be over at 3, and we would love to have you get a taste of it and see if you're interested. I think it's going to be a really good 4 weeks. So right now, we have some new people, and Linda will provide a packet for you. Do I have any other new visitors that I haven't? If you're new, if you would just raise your hand. Okay. So let's meet and greet and do our good old unitic hugging and greeting.
So, Reverend Colleen is famous for saying that every time you sing, it's a prayer twice, right? Is that what you say? It's a prayer said twice? You sing? I believe that's what she says. So this song is a prayer even if you don't sing it. So I think when you sing this song, it's 3 times. It's 3 times. It's 3 times. So please, everybody, join in this one. You know it.
Great day, beautiful day, wonderful day. Gosh, to have the opportunity to come up here and be prayer chaplain for today. I am Robert Love, and I've been a member of Unity since June of last year, and I can tell you right now, it is a life-changing event. It truly, truly is, to come up here and be a part of the Unity group and start learning the principles of unity and applying them in your life. And I had to apply them yesterday because I did my taxes. And I can tell you right now that there were a few words that weren't divine after I finished my taxes. Probably the first year in probably 10 years that I had to say those words after I finished and saw my, you owe this. And I thought, oh man, it's going to come at the worst time for me to have to pay this. And then I looked and I pulled out my trusty Albert Hasselbeck, and so I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But first, I want you to pay, if you could, just take your attention over to the Christ candle, and just for a moment, reflect on the Christ within yourself and the candle that glows in your spirit and your heart. That's what the Christ candle represents in all of us. We are an individualized expression of God. Well, and another thing I'd like to pay your attention to is the prayer box. This is so important. Prayer is such an integral part of unity. The prayers that come here in that box are prayed on for 30 days, and then they're sent up to Unity Village to be prayed in a wonderful way at Unity. So if you have a particular need, something that is in your heart right now, it doesn't have to be for a sickness or anything. It just whatever is part of your life right now, that is a prayer. Every thought we have is a prayer. If you think of it that way, every thought we have comes from that divine spirit, that divine consciousness that we have. It is a prayer that we have. And share that with our prayer box. No one else will be able to read that except our prayer chaplains and those in Unity Village. So share whatever you need to share. And our opening prayer today, if you would just take a moment just to close your eyes, reflecting on the Christ candle, knowing the Christ within that glows in your heart and your spirit. Even when you don't think it does, that Spirit of Christ is flowing through you, every pore of your being, as an individualized expression of you, who you are, what you are, knowing that every thought you have every day is a prayer. And the respect that we should give each one of our thoughts is that kind of respect that flows out from us to the universe. The universe can change because of us. Every prayer that we have, every thought that we have, take that into your silentness, that moment of silence that you have within. There is that moment of silence. All the voices that are going in your head constantly, once you pay attention to those, they have no power over you. What's left is that silent moment within you. And that is the prayer of your day. Okay, now if you would join me, please, in our daily word. I think I actually did that backwards in my sheet. I did my prayer first and then my daily word, but it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. You know, and because the daily word was so pertinent to my taxes yesterday, it said, seize the moment. I had to seize that moment and go, oh my goodness, that every thought that I have, every moment that I have is divine life, love, and wisdom and power flowing through me. And when I saw that, you know, that tax that I had to pay, I thought, you know, that's going to be for good. You know, that is going to be for good. And so I used a unity principle. When that moment came that I was like, oh goodness, I turned it into a unity principle of I can seize the moment. This will turn into good for me. I will have to plan better. I'll have to do things in my life a little differently to make that happen. Okay, I'm new at this, so I'm still having to read my little list here. What I would like for us to do now is if you would recite with me our statement of being. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Amen.
Robert just said that every thought we have is a prayer, which is true. I agree, Robert. Sometimes we just want to go down the river.
Go shoulders wide. Let your head go back for a moment and forward. Bring yourself fully to the pew in which you're sitting and just relax and let go. And affirm the words, I let go and I let God together. I let go and I let God. Now hold on to that word God for a moment. The word God. 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 And notice what comes to your mind. Is it an image of an elderly man with a long beard? If so, congratulate yourself on being human. If it is of nature, if it is of vibrations, if it is thought, a prayer, an affirmation, just breathe into that and let us expand on the idea of God. Father, Mother, God. The Father side of God is creative, protective. And the Mother side of God is the nurturing and receptive. The allness of God is all of this, and it's all inside of us. And how we're made in the image and likeness of God. These qualities. So breathe into your marvelous body, your human instrument for being a blessing in this world, for indeed you are. And I let go, and I let God in me as me bring forth the love that I am, the power that I am, the good that I am. I may reflect for the moment that I don't feel all of that. And again, we congratulate ourselves on being human. And in this essence of our humanity, we recognize the absolute glory in recognizing I am a divine expression of God. And that leads to recognizing every person is just that. For in this very moment, we can now expand our awareness to our arms, cosmic and otherwise, and embrace this world with the essence of divine love that flows through us, as us, and us becoming divine love. Pour this love into this world right now, a world fraught with confusion, seemingly has lost its way. And pour this love into every person who comes to mind, every city, state, country. Continue feeling that love. You may find your body tingling. So be it. It's one of the clues we have to being in tune with all that is holy, good, kind, loving, gracious. Now feel that prayer in your very essence as something that you can do at any time. And we affirm once more, Father, Mother, God, love through me, Heal through me. Be thou made known through me. And this we pray in and through the nature, the will, the way, and the work of Jesus the Christ. And so it is. As we return to this room, allowing the infilling of our essence to spill over and in and through every molecular content of this room. I am love. Together, I am love. Love is who I am, and so it is. Amen. My unity story. Well, guess what? You're not going to hear a whole lot of that because you've heard it before, right? Yeah. Except for this one piece. I was a very busy, productive, successful, I guess, real estate broker over in DeSoto County, Mississippi, which is just south of the Tennessee state line in Memphis. And I had found unity in January of 1978. I wasn't looking for unity. In fact, I'll tell you something that is a nice reminder for all of us, and that is that my new husband and I were graduates of the Silva Mind Control course, and we loved meditation, and we loved being with the graduates of that course. And two of those girls had been calling us for a week saying, you got to go to Unity in Memphis next weekend. For what? Well, they've got this out-of-town speaker coming in, this Dr. Romero from New Mexico, and you've got to hear him. Oh, okay. Being gracious, okay, well, we'll try. But you know when you say the word try, what happens? It's a cop-out, usually, right? In fact, Yoda says it is a cop-out. We went to Unity that morning, couldn't find the front door because it was a Dutch mansard roof type house that had been added onto, and we walked in the wrong door right smack in front of everybody late, and so that was a little unsettling. We sat in that service that morning, and they meditated. What? A church that meditates? Surprise, surprise. So I'm sitting there in meditation, and this voice quietly said, you're home. And I started crying. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that the flood of energy through me was just, I couldn't hear what was said. I didn't hear the next song, nothing. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Well, let me fast forward from that. We went to that Dr. Romero's lecture that day, and that whole day changed my life. I thought, awesome. But a year later, on December the 7th, 1979, after attending everything that Unity offered, every class I could get to, everything I could get to, the minister said I was like a parched desert sucking up rain. And that's true, because I had spent my life studying the Bible, trying to figure out who had it right. Nobody's done that here, have you? No, just me. And I was sitting in meditation that morning because slowly over those months, divine discontent had hit me. I didn't have the thrill, I didn't have the joy of doing real estate anymore. And I had loved it for 8 years. But I knew I was done with it, but I didn't know what I needed to do. And I had been to Unity Village for 2 weeks of what they call SEE training, and had thoroughly immersed myself in Unity Village. But, there you are. Well, that day in meditation, I did something I've talked to you about before. I had analytically dealt with how to figure all this out for so long. And I finally said, God, I let go. I don't know what to do. I let go. When you surrender like that, there's nothing like it. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is allowing yourself to be in the flow without that analytical mind saying what's okay and what's not okay. And as I let go, and as I was in meditation, I remember the sun was shining just like today. And I glanced out the French doors, and I just, whatever. If it meant giving up everything, this divine discontent that was keeping me just unsettled all the time was going to have to be dealt with. And as I sat there in that meditation and I let go, I had the message: call Unity Village and apply for ministerial application. Now, the reason I share that with you is because in that instant, my response was, who, me? And I can't even emphasize that. I just felt so unworthy. I felt I didn't know enough. I did the whole process that's found all through the Old Testament of not being good enough. Well, when I made that phone call and hung up the phone, I literally felt lighter than a feather. That is an experience that if you've never had, I encourage you to deal with whatever the struggle is inside and allow it. Allow God, allow Spirit to do what is to be done. Because you and I came in, especially this lifetime, we came in to serve the energy of the planet more now than in centuries. And I say that because I keep being reminded that we have this chaos that's going on everywhere. There is news, there is fake news, there is all kinds of information presenters that are grabbing for our attention everywhere. And the one thing that has kept people sort of stabilized for years has been religion, has it not? In spite of everything else, people would turn to their faith. Thank God. And even that now is being usurped in its own way. Then that led me to realize that something I've never talked to you about is how this same energy that led me to say, who, me? And to doubt that is the energy that is underneath our very lives. And it's three core beliefs that are underneath every belief that we have. And thank God for Sandy. We have those on a board so that you don't have to try to write them down. Maybe we can talk about them from here. Right this moment, you either feel safe or on this planet, or you feel it's dangerous. Which way do you normally feel about that? Now, in Unity, we've come far enough along that we tend to feel safe. But before you got to this place, how did it feel? When I grew up, we never even shut the doors at night. If it was summertime or fall, we slept with the doors open. We never locked them. I don't think Mother and Dad even knew where a key was. And the whole town was that way. I still don't have a lot of that kind of feeling endangered energy around me, and I choose not to. When I drive, I put the light energy around my vehicle. And there have been times when I should have backed into somebody. It came that close, and it didn't happen. So believe me, I'm not that totally mindful. But do I feel safe, or do I feel endangered? And the second one is that belief is there harmony, or is it chaotic? And I just spoke to how chaotic it feels out here in the world to us, right? And the third one is there's abundance all around us in this universe, or it's all scarce. Which belief has pretty much monitored your life? If we say that it's, and you've heard this if you've been in Unity at all, the universe is a safe place. The universe, the world is a safe place, right? Well, the key to that phrase is, yes, the universe is safe, but the world is not. So that's where we must use right judgment, right understanding, that ours is to hold the high watch and to be sensible, but at the same time be the light worker, the one that holds the higher level of awareness, that we have both. We have a world of effects that we have created, but we have a world as was created by Creator, by God, that is perfect. When I was in Nebraska, and I launched a Unity Church there in 1982 after I did go to Unity Village. I did get accepted and graduated in 82. I met a woman who was, by that time, was in her late 30s. She shared this story, and she had a little boy that was between 3.5 and 4, as I recall. And there was a funeral she wanted to go to, and her niece let her know that she didn't feel well, and so she wasn't going to come babysit. And so this mother thought, oh, okay. But the last minute she thought, well, I wonder if he's old enough to attend a funeral. I wonder how he'd take that. She took him. And through the funeral she watched, and if this was years ago, when quite often there would be quite a bit of crying and grief expressed in the service. And she watched him, and he took all that in. So on the way home, this was before seatbelts, he's standing up in the truck, these little chin on the dashboard. And she was watching him. She started doing this guilt number on herself about, I shouldn't have taken him. I probably scarred him for life. That type of feeling. So finally she asked him, and the name Zane comes to my mind, so I'm going to use it. I think that was right. So she said, Zane, honey, can you tell Mama what you're thinking? He looked at her, looked ahead again for a minute. He said, Mama? I said, what? He said, I know where people go when they die. She said, you do? I said, yeah. She said, where do they go? They go back to normal. Out of the mouths of babes. This is old hat to you, but it's a nice reminder. Every moment of our lives, we're walking in two worlds. Right now, we're in this world of materiality, but the spiritual world is all around us. It's everything. We're like fish swimming in the ocean. Water, water, what water? God is all around us. When I started Unity in 1978. I had the questions that all of you probably had, because my father was a Free Will Baptist preacher and I got indoctrinated and all of that, plus the Pentecostal faith because I played in that church, and the missionary Baptist faith because I played in that church, and then I played in the Methodist church, and then I went to my dad's church at night where they did the altar call, and I think I went to the altar 7 or 8 times before Dad finally said, we got it. But I wanted it. Whatever it was that people said they got, I wanted it. I never got it that way. I could never say ever that I went to an altar call and got up off my knees and said, I'd been saved. Does anybody relate to that here? It didn't make any sense to me. But what now makes sense is some of us are far more intuitive than others. Some of us are far more feeling oriented. Some of us are far more empathic. When they say unity is the best kept secret in the world, that's the truth. It is. But we're here as light workers now to share the truth that has set us free. I was a worm of the dust. I wasn't worthy of God's love or grace. Why did Jesus have to die for me? Why couldn't it have been me instead of Jesus? Those are the tormenting kinds of questions that really governed my struggle, because secretly I didn't think I was saved. And so what I can tell you is we get here when the time is right. We find our way to the teachings when we are receptive to recognizing that we live in an omnipotent, omniscient universe, that this omniscience that is all around us, this God that is all around us, is asking us to step up higher to a place where we can live with that serenity and poise and confidence. So what happens when we get caught up in the nuts and bolts of living and we start struggling with negativity? Where do we go then? Well, the first chapter of the book Lessons in Truth is bondage or liberty. Which? Am I in bondage or am I liberated? It took me a few years to really get what that lesson was all about. It seems simple enough, but we have lived with these negative, positive interactions for so long. We know we feel better when it's positive. We know that. Everybody knows that. That's just innate within us. But because we have lived in this environment, because this is a world of polarity. I just read something this week that you might like to think about. I don't tell you it's true, but I'll just tell you that it gave me pause to think. This is a camouflage planet. What do I mean? You don't know what I'm thinking. You can't read my thoughts, can you? I can't read yours. I can tell you what I think you're thinking, but can I really read them? But this writer was saying that's not the way it is on the other side. They don't need the voice or physicality. Thoughts are translated back and forth. The energy is the energy of intention. And so the writer went on to say, and chances are there are direct planets where everybody knows what everybody is thinking. Now, how would that be if we had that here? What do you think? What do you think? But what unity teaches in the advanced teachings, if not basic, is that, yes, our chaplain today said it, all thoughts are prayers. With every thought And every word, we're either saying yes to life or we're saying no to life. In this film that we're viewing this afternoon, the first part of it had me going for a little while. And not because it wasn't good, but because the music bothered my ears, being hard of hearing. I continued to watch, and Jean said, I'll watch it too. We'll determine, because we want you to have a good experience with all of these teachings. And the last 1/3 of that film, which runs an hour and about 12 minutes in it, stunned me, because I knew the man that was the one that was doing the talking about his healing. And here's what this film did for me. It reminded me that we know unity is a fantastic teaching. Unity, science of mind, to some degree Christian Scientist. I'm not judging that, but I find that'd be very hard for me to practice. Divine science, the mental sciences. But so often, we're overread and underdone. If your life isn't working the way you want it to, it's because we've not applied the teachings that we at least know about. But the book, Lessons in Truth, is a hard book for a lot of people to read because it's written 120 years ago. And it's written in plain English. It was written by a doctor. But that book came out as a series of magazine articles which got published in the magazine that Charles Fillmore started called Modern Thought. And it was so powerful they could not get enough copies reprinted and sent out. When a book touches people like that did, it's called a classic. In this case, the spiritual essence that's in that book, especially that first chapter, it will transform something in you that you can't even identify, you can't name. And when I come across a teacher that has that kind of inspiration, that kind of knowingness, I want to stay with them. I want to be in that kind, I want to bask in that kind of heart light. And I know you feel the same. Bondage or liberty, which are we choosing? Are we choosing to feel safe? Are we choosing to live in harmony? Are we choosing to live and know that there's an abundance? What is abundance anyway? In prosperity teachings, what's the key to abundance? Do you have a limited number of ideas? Have you used up your limited number of ideas? Never. The answer to every dilemma that we have is inside of us. This heart connection, I just read 2 this week. One guy said, our soul is nestled right next to our heart. I thought, and I'm too visual for that. I don't know if I can handle that or not. Because for me, the soul is truly the heart center. The heart and the soul are connected. But I'll buy it. I'm open enough to let him have his thought with that. I want to bring this point home in closing. I had some friends who were flying in from Canada to visit Memphis. And Allison's daughter was one of them, and Allison was just the dearest friend. She, in Canada, we met online. We were cyber spiritual prayer partners. And so when she died, I bonded with her daughters. And so Leanne said, could you come to Memphis and show us around? So we know we want to go to Graceland, but, all the other things. Sure. And I knew these books were on the table in Graceland in Elvis's office. And Allison and I had been there in 05 or 06. And we spotted them. Metaphysical books. So this time, when we went to Graceland, Leanne and I stayed back from the tour group and got our little phones out, and we took pictures of these books. and I was able to blow it up and see it. And you know, one of the books that Elvis was reading when he died was Catherine Ponder's Healing Secrets of the Ages. That's on his desk. How did he come across that book? Let me just tell you, that was heartwarming to see that. But there were 2 or 3 others. We just, the way they were turned, we couldn't get to them. But people are seeking what you have. Let your light shine. In Lessons in Truth, she says, if you're practicing their presence, which is the first principle in unity, that's what we're doing, practicing the presence of God. Brother Lawrence, these principles didn't just come out of unity, they came from all over the world. Charles Fillmore paid up to $500 for a set of materials, but searching, because that analytical mind that I thought I had is nothing compared to what he had. But he was looking for the nuggets of gold that was in every faith and found them and pulled them together this way. And then I just recently read that Ernest Holmes, who wrote Science of Mind book that is fabulous, was scanning Charles Fillmore's writings. But Charles Fillmore wasn't writing for us. He was searching for truth for himself. We happened to be looking over his shoulder. But what came out of these lessons is the realization, and that's what happened for him, is that if we just live this idea of practicing the presence, remembering the divinity of man, every person is divine. Every person is the only begotten child of God. Is that too heavy for you to take in? Every person is. John 3:16 doesn't name Jesus, we assume it. So we have practicing the presence, turning to the power of the Word, which is meditation and prayer. We have the power of our togetherness in and through all of these 5 principles that you've been seeing week after week after week in the bulletin. But they don't mean anything to us when we keep seeing them, but we don't pay attention to them. And so when you start listening in meditation, by becoming still, totally still, allowing, surrendering, Spirit speaks to you and will speak to you in a very loving way. That's how it works. That's the epitome to me of what unity teachings are about, is we never graduate. And Papa Charlie said that himself. We never graduate. I find when I let my teachings slide for a while and I've got other things I'm doing, I pay for it. I don't have the ease, I don't have the serenity that I know is possible. Start your day with some quiet time, thanking the universe, thanking God, thanking your home, whatever, but start with gratitude. Start with thanking anything that comes to mind. And then you become the walking trailblazer of light, because I'm going to finish with this. The world is chaotic. Yeah, out there it is. But guess what? Everything comes to pass. Nothing ever stays the same. Chaos is order in motion. And we're going to come through this, and we're going to find light on the other side. But how much quicker it's going to happen if we do our inner work and recognize, I am part of it. Am I an asset or a liability? Am I helping or am I dragging myself along? Which way will it be? Here's your way to, here's a denial you can remember, because we teach denials and affirmations and lessons in truth, and we forget. We use affirmations, but we forget about denials. A denial is denying evil any power over us. A denial is denying that whatever, quote, label illness, as we've been told. It really doesn't have the power. Because in that other world that we live in, we're perfect. That was hard for me to accept for a long time. I see it now. I'm a little hard-headed is what it amounts to. But I see it now. I see the perfection. And anybody that's had an NDE experience has seen it, and I've had 2 of those. But even though I had those, I denied them. But here's your phrase. If you're in a situation and you're trying not to wallow in it or trying to overcome it, just say, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's a denial. It's okay. Try that. Just say it out loud. It's okay. Try it again. It's okay. Then say it again. It's okay. Practice it. Because that's the truth as Jesus taught it. When he said in the scripture in the 4th chapter of Mark, 25th verse, we talked about, for those who hath, more will be given, and for those who don't have, more will be taken from them. That was a scary scripture for me as a kid until I got Unity. And what it's talking about is the law of attraction. When we have, we'll attract more because we're thinking abundance, not scarcity. When we're thinking scarcity, when we're fearful, when we think it's dangerous, that goes too, because the law of mind action is the great law behind, is the fair law behind everybody, everything, every dimension, every century, every country, wherever it is. So when I ask you to extend your arms and pour love and light to the planet, let's do that now with conscious awareness. You know, they have proven scientifically that when we send this energy out, it actually happens. The gal who's doing the series of intentions has got major proof of this. So just for a moment, pour that love and light and energy into the planet, into the people, into the children. Pour it into the prisons and the hospitals, into the schools, into the lonely, into the heartbroken, into the grieving, and then pour it into those who are light workers and helpers in every profession, and say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. When I was struggling, this was the song that got me through many a dark night. So maybe it has that meaning for you too. So I appreciate you guys doing this for me.
Is this on? Yeah. Okay. So if you ever email Reverend Colleen and it lands with whatever you say she likes, she'll just write back, grin. Well, Colleen, I'm grinning because that was really one of your best. I really enjoyed that. And it's okay, I simply got to share this. I visited my son in Oakland, and so he'll get worried about things and, you know, talk to me, and I would say, it's okay. And he started teasing me, you know, with my southern accent. He would go, it's okay, it's okay. So now that's a big thing in our family, and now I can tell him, well, it really isn't. So I love that. It's really good. So we are so grateful to be here together this morning. So let's bring our baskets down for the offering. And in that gratitude, we know that there is this law of circulation. We give back, and we say together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
I'll come back and get it.
Potluck is following service, and I hope you can stay for the class. The whole series is $50, but today, if you want to just test it out, and we hope you enjoy it and want to keep coming back, so please just feel free to stay today and enjoy you did such a good setup for that video. It's really, people are really going to enjoy it, yeah. The board meeting is February 2nd, and that is also a deadline to get an application to be on the board. And I'm talking to a couple of people, but if you're interested, just ask questions and we'll get you an application. and take care of that. We do have the Hootenanny. That's right, First Friday, and that's really becoming a thing here at Unity. So that's Friday night at 7, and I think you can gather though at 6:30, right, Bill? You'll be. Okay. Well, there's a reason. Okay. Okay. And those are all the announcements we have right now. So let's all gather for our prayer and song. Uh-oh. Where? All right. All right. Together we say, the
light of God surrounds us. I am the light.
The
love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.